Good morning, everyone. This is Bremster, and today I'm coming to you with a puzzle called XV Negative by MavericksJD. This was a puzzle that was sent to me when I did a call out for some puzzles with some simpler constraints so that I could demonstrate some basic concepts in a different way. And MavericksJD being someone that I worked with on the Save the Galaxy puzzle adventure, said he had a few puzzles that would meet that criteria, and this is one that he sent to me. So I thought, let's jump in. On the topic of Save the Galaxy, we are now only 2 days away from the deadline when the galaxy is going to not be saved anymore, although quite a few people have completed the adventure. So I think we're okay. But we could still use your help. So if you haven't completed the puzzle adventure yet, then please consider either having a look. You do not need to complete all 9 puzzles in order to be able to submit your solution codes. If you do complete all 9 puzzles, and there's a lot of people who did this in under a day, if you do complete all 9 puzzles, there is a master solution code you can submit, or I've forgotten the name of a galactic solution code you can submit, which will cover all of the puzzles. But if you do not complete all of the puzzles, you may submit solution codes only for the puzzles that you do complete, and you will still be eligible to win this month's prize, a copy of World of Sudoku #1 by Akash Dulani. Thank you, Akash, for providing the prize. So yeah, have a look at that one. 2 days left before the deadline. When the deadline is over, the puzzle hunt will not be disappearing, or puzzle adventure will not be disappearing. You will still be able to do it. I just will not be accepting submissions for prizes. But the puzzles will still be good. They don't get bad on a particular deadline. At least I hope not. That would be very, very strange. I don't see how that could happen. So give it a look anyway. Okay, onto this puzzle, XV Negative by MavericksJD. So this is an XV puzzle. You see all those X's and V's? Yeah, neither do I. So there are 2 rules in place in this puzzle. So normal Sudoku rules apply. In every box, in every row, and in every column, the digits 1 to 9 must be placed without repetition. Cells separated by an X must sum to 10. Cells separated by a V must sum to 5. All X's and V's are given. So, where there is no X, the 2 cells cannot sum to 10. Where there is no V, 2 cells cannot sum to 5. So an example where they can is... Oh, yeah, that's why it's called XV Negative. There aren't any. So no 2 cells in this grid can sum to either... no 2 orthogonally adjacent cells in this puzzle can sum to either 10 or 5. That's this puzzle. So with that, this grid is solvable. Let's give this a shot, and let's hope I can pull this one off. So I'm going to talk about some basic concepts. So one of the things that's worth noting is a lot of the restriction comes from the digits in the middle of cells, or digits in the middle of borders. But these 3 cells and these 2 will be particularly constrictive, although 5's less so. And digits under 5 provide or are more constrained and provide more constraint than digits above 5, because they actually interact with 2 digits rather than 1. So I'll give examples of that as I find them. So here we know that 9 cannot go next to 1. So we cannot put a 1 in any of those cells, because that would mean we get a 10. Cannot put 1 in any of those cells, because that would mean we break the rules of Sudoku. So 1 is in one of these 2 cells, and it cannot go next to a 4, because that would mean we get a 5. This becomes a 1. And the interesting thing about, and the reason that numbers under 10 are more constraining, is you cannot put a 6 or a 1 next to a 4, whereas next to a 6 you can only not put a 4. It's because the numbers above 5 only interact with the X clue, where the numbers below 5 interact with both the X and the V clue. 5's on their own are kind of useless. Well, they're not useless. 5 is a nice enough number, but it doesn't actually provide an XV constraint because you can never place a 5 on an X or a V anyway. So this 2 cannot go next to either 3 or 8. So 3 and 8 must exist in those cells, but I'm not doing anything with that yet that I can see. I cannot put 2 in any of those cells or I'd get a 10. So 2 is down here. I'm kind of just jumping all over the place, but I will try and find something useful. I will try and find something useful. 6 is over here. 5 is in one of those two. I mean, basic Sudoku may not be a bad idea. 1 is in... Oh, here we go. 1 and 1. So these ones force 1 into one of those two cells. 1 cannot go next to 4. That is a 1. Does that give me anything more? Two in this box is actually forced. 2 cannot go in those cells because of that 2, and 2 cannot go next to 3 or I would get a 5. This becomes a 2, which forces 2 in this box because 2 now must go in one of those 3 cells. This 2 knocks 2 out of there, and 2 next to 3 is not possible. This becomes a 2. This forces 2 down here. Not jumping out at me as a problem. 2 is in one of those. 2 is in one of those. So also not able to go next to 3 is 7 because low digits provide constraints on 2 digits. So 7 cannot go there, 7 cannot go there. 7 is in one of those 2 cells. I'm just putting stuff in as I find it. I'm probably not finding the best path, but anyone who knows me could give me that nickname. Always off the path. So this box has the most in it. So where can one go? It can't go there. It couldn't go next to 4 or 9. But I don't have a lot of information about 4 or 9, do I? 4 can't go there, so 4 is up here. 8 is in one of... 8 is in one of these two. 8 can't go here and it can't go next to 2. So 8 is in one of those two. And 9... not as helpful as I'd want. That puts 8 in one of these. And again, not helping. There'll be a simple elimination that I have not seen yet. Two in this column. 2 cannot go up here because there's a 2 in the box, and 2 cannot go down here because of the 8. So 2 is in one of those 2. Of course, this 2 is making this a 2, which would have got me the same thing if I'd been paying attention. So it's 3 and 8 that are forced into the... Oh, no, 8 is now forced into those 2. because I can't put 8 there now because of that 2. Actually, that's a 3-8 pair because 3 also can't go. So these are all cells that are adjacent to a 2. So this is a 3-8 pair. Does that do anything? Not obviously. 4 can't... Actually, I think that gives me a 4. Because 4 can't go here and 4 can't go next to 1. So that becomes a 4. Which puts 4 down here, which cannot go next to 1. So 4 is in one of those two. Now, seven is in one of those 3. If I could eliminate from that one, for example, I would know which one is... Nine is now in one of those 2 because these are the 4 places and it can't go next to the 1. So 9 is in one of those 2, which puts 9 in one of those 2. Do I want to look at this quad? Possibly. So this is 3, 6, 7, and 8. I'm actually going to put those in. This can't be a 3. This can't be a 3. Oh, that can't be an 8 either. That can't be a 6 or a 7. That can't be a 6. Not as helpful as I wanted. This is definitely a puzzle. 3s are down here. This is definitely a puzzle where I hope everyone is doing better than me. Because this 3 sees here and I cannot put 3 in those. 3 can't go next to 2. This is actually a placed 3. So that's fine because that makes this an 8, which takes 8 out of those. This is a 6-7 pair, which makes this a 3. Getting somewhere. Maybe slow, but slow is fine. That puts 3 in one of those 2 by Sudoku. So this is a 2-3 pair. So that displaces that 4 and makes that the 4. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. This is not a 6. This is not a 5. So I've got a 6-7 pair. This is a 5. This is a 6-7 pair. Is anything forcing that? Possibly, but I'm not seeing it. But this is a pair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1 and 9. I will be missing negative constraints all over this puzzle. But that's why it's a puzzle. If everything in a puzzle was obvious, would it actually be a puzzle? Is that a puzzle? One puzzle at a time. This is a quad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 4, 6, and 9. Well, I can't put 9 into any of those. The 4s and the 6 are all kept separate. So that is actually, I don't think, helping. Oh, well, actually, no. The 6-7 is taking 6 out of there. So 6 is vertical here. So I've actually got this quad here. So what is it? It's 1, 4, 6, and 7. So 7 has to go in this column, and it can't go here, 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 or it can go there. It better be able to go there because it can't go there. So that's the 7. This is not the 7. So this is 1 or 4, and it cannot be a 4 because 4 would go next to the 6. This becomes the 1. I take 1 out of here. This becomes a 4-6 pair, and I take the 4 out of there, and I get a 1-9 pair across here. Some progress. This is now a 9. This is a 1. This is a 9. Some more progress. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 8. That looks reasonable. Lots of umming going on. I still need to put 5, 6, 7, and 9 in here. So this is 5 or 9, because I can't use 6 or 7. No, it's not 5. This is a 9. So this is a 5, and this is a 6 or a 7. And here's that trick. That's very cool. One of those must be a 7, which means that cannot be a 3. Whichever one of these becomes a 7 means that if I put a 3 there, both of those would have to be 6, and I would be facing a overabundance of 6s. That must be an 8. That must be a 3. This becomes a 2. This becomes a 3. Something? Does something interact with that? I believe the words I'm looking for are not yet. So 2, 6, and 7 over here. Okay, so this is a 6. No, wrong marking. This is a 6, 7. This is a 2. I'm not resolving it there either. Excuse me 1 second. Okay, I need to put an 8 down here. So this is 6, 7, 8, and 9. Mark it the right way. I'm going to undo all of that and do that properly because... So, this is 6, 7, 8, and 9. This one can't be a 9 because of the 1. This can't be a 6 because of the 4. It can't be a 7 because of the 3. So one of the things that you see sometimes when solving Sudokus with weird patterns is you see a cross shape like this without a lot of clues in the corners, and then you've got to figure out what is putting pressure in the corners. And sometimes it can be very hard to figure out what that is. So what I tend to do is look for a situation where you've actually got lots of givens pointing in to one of these, because these are often the most constrained cells. It's not always true, but it's just something I try and do. So where is the most constrained? I'm looking at row 3 as kind of where I'm probably going to find the most constraint in this grid. I could be completely wrong about that, but I'm kind of just trying to figure out how do I break into these corners. So these have to be 4, 5, 7, 8, and 9. So this is probably a bad way to do it. This can't be 7 or 8. It can't be 8 because of that, 7 because of the 3. This can't be 5 or 8. This is not going well. This can't be 4 for multiple reasons. This can't be 5. This is not the way to do it. So when instincts fail, try bribery. No, that's not going to help, is it? Or am I just missing something? Or more accurately, what am I just missing? This column is even more constrained. So in here I need to put a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8. Well, I can't put an 8 up here because it would put it next to a 2. I can't put a 5. This is a 1. So that takes 1 out of here. This becomes 5 and 8. This 5 gives me the order. This is the 8. This is the 5. And I now have something placed in corners, which is good. Puts an 8 down here, which is not ideal. It puts a 7 in here, which is even less ideal. 1 is in one of those two cells by Sudoku. 2 is in one of those two cells by Sudoku. None of that is a problem. 3. Okay, here is something I can do. 3 can't go in those cells because of the 3, and I can't put 3 in here. Because if I was to put 3 into either of those cells, if I was to put a 3 here, the only place left in the box for a 2 would be here, and I would end up with a 3 and a 2 next to each other, giving me a 5. So I can never put a 3 in either of those two cells. So 3 can't go here, 3 can't go here, 3 can't go in those because there's already digits. 3 must be in one of those. I'm not seeing a restriction on 4s, except that it can't go there. I've already got 5. 6 can't go there, but apart from that, I'm okay. Because if it went there, it would be next to... Oh, hang on. No, that's complete nonsense. 6 can't go next to 4. 9 can't go next to 1. 4 can't go next to 1. So 4 or 9 can't go there. So that is not helping me at all. You've got to do math right when solving puzzles. 3 up here. Not obviously. 7 is in one of those. 8 is in one of those two. Eight is in one of the... Okay, yeah, that lines up. Okay. I just seen that 8 in this row has to go over here, but that makes sense because the 8s are forced into those. Five doesn't provide any restriction in the corner. 7 provides restriction to 3, which I've already done. 6 only provides restriction to 4. So the 4 is kind of wide open. The 2 provides restriction to 8, which is already locked down here. It also provides restriction to 3. So 3 can't go there. 3 can't go... That's a 3. Which forces 3 into one of those two. And 3 is forced down here. So this is now a 3. Now 3 restricts 2, but it also restricts 7 out of there. So 7 is now in this. 7 now can't go... 7 is in one of these two cells. Because 7 can't go in those. 7 is not there because of that 3. 7 is in one of those two. This becomes a 6. This becomes a 7. This becomes a 6. This becomes a 7. What now? That forces 6 into one of these. 7 only restricts 3, which I've already got. 8 restricts 2, which I've already got. That 3 means this is not 7. In fact, 7 has to be... 3 takes 7 out of all of those. That 7 takes 7 out of there. 7 has to be in one of those two, which means this is not the 7, which actually places that 7, which places that 8. This is 4, 5, or 9, and it's not 5. So I've got a 4, 9 pair, which makes this a 5. This is cleverer than me. See this 6 right here? I've been saying for a while now that if you add 6 to 4, you get 10, and I'm not allowed to do that. So that's a 9. That's 4. That's an 8, and that's a 4. I am now getting some pairs. I need to put a 5 into one of these, and that 5 right there is telling me this cell is not good for 5s. So 5 and 1, I can take 5 out of there. This is a pair, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 9. So I'll blow the 9s out of there. 6 and 9. Can't go next to 4 or 1. Well, 1 they're not close to, and 4 they might be when I get that far. This is resolved. Again, this 2 means this cannot be an 8. That is a 4. I have a 7, 8 pair. This is a 6, 7, 8 triple. If this was a 6, this would be a 7, this would be an 8, and that right there would be a problem. So let's make that the 9 that it needs to be. This becomes a 6. That's not provided any obvious breakdown, except for this 6, 7, 8 triple still exists. So I can't put a 6, 7, or 8 in here. So this has to be a 3, 4, I think. Which has not given me anything phenomenal, but let's look for... So these are triples down here. So let's put the triples in and see if anything breaks. So this is 2, 6, and 9. Well, I know 2 is not there because of that 2. This can't be a 9. Possibly should have started with this one because it was next. Oh, they're both next to digits. So this is 1, 3, and 4. Can't put 1 in the middle. Can't put 3 at the bottom. And where is my digit blindness? So there will be some. There will absolutely be some. Like I can't put 2 and 3 together. I can't put 6 and 4 together. So something here. I've got a 3, 4 pair. So that means 2, 6, and 7 go in here. And I've got a 2, so that is not a 2. I've got a 6, this is not a 6. These are going to be pressure on each other, but I can't quite. This is a 6 or a 9, because these are 6, 7, 8, 9, and it says 7, 8. This can't be a 7. The 7 must be in one of these two. This is the 8. This is the 7. That takes 8 out of there. This is a 6, 7 pair. I can take 6 out of there. This is an 8, 9. Now, this is a 6, an 8, or a 9. But there's something more going on here, I am sure now. I am just missing it. That would do it. That's a 7. That's a 6. 6 cannot go next to 4, so that's a 3. That's a 4. The 4 jumps over, making that a 3, and that is not a 3. The 3 cannot go next to a 2. So this becomes the 9, this becomes the 2. The 9 cannot go next to a 1, that becomes the 4, that becomes the 1. That makes this the 6 and this the 4. So far I'm not seeing any broken rules, which makes me happy. This means this is not the 6. In fact, it's also not the 9, that is an 8. In this row we need to put a 1. This 8 makes this a 9 and this an 8. We're down to a single box. At this point, I'm hoping even I can solve this Sudoku. So in this, we are missing, this should be 6, 9. So, but they've got 3 digits here in 2 cells. So that 9 makes this a 6. This becomes a 7. This becomes a 2. And the digit we are missing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, happens to be a 9. And that looks good to the solver. So, if I've done that correctly, there will be no 2 cells adjacent to each other that add to 5 or to 10, and I have completed my XV negative challenge by MavericksJD. Once again, I hope you gave that a shot. That was a lot of fun. I hope you've been enjoying the puzzles that the channel has been bringing you. And if you are not a subscriber, you decide to join us and subscribe. If you want to chat to us about puzzles, there's been, because of the Save the Galaxy puzzle hunt, there has been a lot of chatter in the Bremic discussion channel on the Sudoku Solvers Discord. So feel free to join us there if you are so inclined. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Join us in the comments below. It's always fun to see comments about my videos. Positive ones are much preferred, but if you've got something to say, you may as well say it. And as always, all I can say is good luck with your solving.